Frank Beard, the only ZZ Top member without the memorable long beard, but with a hell of a drum sound. Let's check it out. Billy Gibbons on guitar, Dusty Hill on bass, and Frank Beard on drums. That's the American, or to be more precise, Texan rock band ZZ Top. From 1969 up until Dusty Hill's passing in 2021, there were no lineup changes, and for more than 50 years, this trio played huge concerts all across the globe, selling more than 50 million records worldwide. Even though the lineup didn't change, the time as a band was far from unproblematic. Especially Frank Beard had to deal with drug addiction and checked himself into rehab in the late 70s during a hiatus of the band. In an interview, he even stated that he blew his first big paycheck completely on drugs and that this got him hooked. However, ZZ Top is a great example of how a band can manage to stay together even though there are such difficult times ahead. They never stopped and went on to create the legacy we know today. One of their most iconic trademarks are Hill's and Gibbons' long beards, but looking at some older photographs from around 1969 or the early 70s, the beards weren't there from the start. Ironically, Frank Beard is the only member who never had a long beard. But to be fair, he tried in 2013, and the mustache he usually has suits him perfectly fine. Now talking about his drum sound, let's start in the early time in 1973 with their album Tres Hombres. Here's Grange. Billy Gibbons once stated, "We could tell that we had something special. The record became quite the turning point for us." And even though this was already their third album, it was the first to achieve real commercial success. Grange even is one of their most iconic songs up until today. What makes their music stand out is the rough and pure energy of the three musicians. And this is also what the drum sound is all about. A very true and organic picture of Beard's playing. And of course you have to mention his great shuffle feel. Now if you think about his drum kits, he really loves to have special artworks and huge kits. Here are some examples from the last few years. What they all have in common is 3 rack toms, 2 floor toms, and 2 kick drums. But was it always this way? Surely not. If you look at older photographs, he often played only 1 rack tom and a single kick drum set. But after doing some research, we found a few photographs from the 70s where he already played 3 rack toms and 2 kicks. One of the kicks seemed slightly smaller, and this can also be seen if you look at this ad from his longtime partner company Tama. Now since we don't have a Tama kit in our studio, we decided to focus more on the sound rather than the brand and picked our Pro President Deluxe kit with 5 toms and 2 kicks, 20 and 22 inches. Back in the day, Frank Beard often played clear heads with reverse dots on his toms, so the stock heads that come with a Pearl kit fit perfectly. We also kept the reverse dot heads on the kick drums. For a short and very defined yet organic sound, we removed the reso heads on both kick drums and went for the felt beaters. The tuning of the kicks is as low as possible without having any wrinkles on the drum heads. With 1 blanket per kick drum and some pillows, we got some muffling in place before bringing in legendary Sennheiser MD421s to capture the sound. Here are the ZZ Top kick drums. The toms are 12, 13, 14, 16, and 18 inches. The tuning of the batter heads is in a medium range, and the reso heads are slightly higher. For this sound, we don't need much muffling, since we are looking for a pretty natural drum sound. This is also why we decided to go with the mic placement option you can see on many older ZZ Top videos and photographs, 1 mic between 2 toms. Of course, this way the toms won't be as direct as with single mics for every tom, but this clarity isn't necessary here. 3 biodynamic M201s placed between the 12 and the 13 and the 14, and between the floor toms sound like this. Now on to the heart of this kit, the snare drum. For this one, we chose a 14x6 maple snare from Sonor's AQ2 series. Not only does the finish trigger some vintage vibes, but this snare is so versatile that you have a really wide tuning range to choose from. The snare head we chose is a single ply ambassador coated. Grange needs a medium tuning, and to get the right amount of overtones and the right tone length, you need some muffling. In our case, a paper handkerchief and some tape work very well. The top mic is an SM57, and for a very crisp signal of the snare side, we decided to go with a small diaphragm condenser clip, the Biodynamic TGD57. The hi-hat is a combination of an A newbie top and an Avidus top as bottom cymbal. With a 20-inch K ride, those two cymbals are the most important to drive the grooves, and therefore both get an extra MC930 as a close mic. All other cymbals are captured with two MC740s as overheads. From left to right, the remaining cymbals are a 16-inch S China, a 16-inch K dark crash thin, an 18-inch A medium thin crash, an 18-inch K dark crash thin, a 6-inch still bell, a 19-inch K sweet crash, and a 20-inch Oriental China trash. Now the only things missing are a leather jacket, some sunglasses, and Pascal even did his best to grow a mustache. Enjoy what Pascal Beard's version of Grange sounds like.
Rumors spreading round United Texas town about the shack outside the game. You know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that whole mile on the range. They got a lot of nice girls.
As mentioned before, ZZ Top had to take a break in the late 1970s while Frank Beard worked on his drug addiction. After this short break, some things had changed. Not only did they finally grow the massive beards everyone knows today, but they also started to experiment with different sounds and recording options. While they had always recorded all instruments in the same room, they now tracked in isolated rooms. They also started to experiment with drum machines and more overdubs. All those things changed their sound massively, and this whole development led to their maybe most important record ever, their album Eliminator, released in 1983. With hit singles like Sharp Dressed Man and Legs, this album was a huge commercial success. Here's Gimme All Your Lovin'. Just compare the drum sound to the Grange sound we talked about before. It has a lot more high-end, more processing, and just a cleaner sound character in general. During the song, you can also hear some percussion overdubs and some additional sounds that add some texture to the drum track. However, we want to focus on the drums themselves. We don't really need to change anything regarding the setup. The only thing is its snare tuning that needs to be a little higher. Everything else has to be done in the mix. If you're interested in this part, make sure to check out the mixing breakdown video we will upload for free at ArtOfDrumming.com. Now let's listen to what Pascal's recreation of this drum sound sounds like. By comparing these two songs, you can clearly tell how much the recording techniques and the sound ideals change in only 10 years. But what never changed up until today is the incredible energy, coolness, and groove ZZ Top's music is well known for. If you want to use one of our recreated sounds in your own production, make sure to visit shop.artofdrumming.com and download one of our sample packs. Now, which sound do you want us to work on next, and which is your favorite episode so far? Thanks a lot for all your feedback and suggestions, and see you next time.